Hi everyone, it is the weekly wrap-up here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Sorry I'm a little late, but I had an appointment this morning, and as you guys know, as part of our 25th anniversary in Miracle Match, we are kind of just talking about what it's been like for 25 years here in the industry. And I have a guest that you would not recognize because he's been behind the camera. But we have somebody that has been with us for a long time. I'm going to let him introduce himself. But we love seeing him every time he comes here at the sanctuary. And I was busy with Adam here. This is Adam. And Adam has been a sanctuary visitor for a long time, but under a very...
Don't ask me how many years,
right.
I have no idea.
But tell them why you visit the sanctuary.
So I work with Fox 21 News. I did my first story, I can't remember how many years it was. But when we first came out here, Tammy was just pretty much doing everything by herself. Maybe there's like 3 or 4 other people here. But it's been awesome to see how this place has grown over the years and seeing the rescues and seeing the work that has been done here. I love I've worked in the news now for probably close to 25 years.
You're dating yourself too,
right,
Adam.
I know. But I've worked with Fox 21 in Duluth for 17 years, and without a doubt, Wildcat Sanctuary is probably my favorite place.
You're so sweet. Well, and Adam, we love having you. Like when you come and we hear the news is coming and it's you, I also know you've been a big advocate for us getting coverage for our work. So I want to say thank you, and thank you to Fox 21. And I know today you were out doing a story as well.
Yep.
I remember one of my favorite stories is you came out because the road was so muddy.
I remember.
We were so rural that we could not even get in. We were walking 2 miles down, and the farmer was bringing his tractor down, and you came out and did a story. What like cats or stories do you remember?
So my favorite, I love all the animals, obviously, but I really love Shazam. Your oldest, is it?
Shazam and Shadow are both up there, but Shazam's a little older, yeah.
But we went to see if we could find Shazam, but I think she was been watching TV. But so we didn't get to see Shazam.
But you saw Shadow today.
We saw Shadow, though, so that was a good one too. But today I think was probably one of the best days because when we were doing our interview, I think I asked you, did the whole, give me your name, spell it out. But as soon as we did that, I asked you, okay, tell us a little bit about where we are, and all of a sudden the lions behind you just started echoing, roaring, and echoing, and it was so cool. And I've been here before when they started roaring, but it's been, they start roaring, and I get my camera on them, and they're like, okay, we're done. But this one, they just kept going and going and going and going, and it was so cool. And even when we went to some of the other enclosures, you could hear it echoing all across the...
They were doing caroling so much today. If you're just joining us, this is Adam with Fox 21. He was here for a news story today, and now he's always behind the camera, so we've turned it on because because he's been covering us for so long, and we're just so grateful for him and Fox 21 who get the word out about what we do and about the mission. You guys have covered legislation. Yep. It's the Ukraine dash being born. I mean,
yeah. So we've done like I said, I was telling you, I think I'll come out here as many times as my boss will allow. It's so great. I mean, just to see, and obviously when I'm doing interviews with you, I can tell how passionate you are too of what you're doing, and it really makes my job go a lot easier and makes my day better when I see that.
Well, and Adam kind of walked by the memorial pavilion today when we were out doing the interview, and you wanted to stop by. Yep. And it was one of those, I'm like, oh sure, we're just checking the box for media. And then Judson and I started walking, and you were asking about the plaques and each cat, and it was just like all these memories started flooding back. And as bittersweet as it is, it was really nice and touching to remember so many cats that I remember them, but I don't revisit their story on a daily basis. So that was pretty cool.
Well, like you said, too, you're doing a lot of the paperwork stuff.
No.
And now it's good to get out and see that kind of stuff too. But yeah, even for me going through there and seeing some of the cats that I've seen over the years on the plaque now.
Come on, go.
I'm like, oh my God.
And what did you think of the Ukraine cubs? Because it's been a while since you've seen them.
They're so big. They're so big that they've grown up and they have manes now.
Yeah, Taras is kind of showing up.
Yeah.
Well, and then we were, usually I feed Gino with you because you like, as being a camera guy, you like the vocalizations. Mm-hmm. But since Gino and Sophie moved in together, she's never come up for me. She comes up for her caretakers. But so I was surprised because as I was feeding him, Sophie came up. And of course, he exerted himself like a lion. So I looked like I didn't know what I was doing because Sophie never came up. But, that's part of it. It was really special that she came up and saw me as well. Well, Adam, I know you have to get back to work, but I want to thank you for being part of our special live post today.
I love this place so much. Everybody, please donate. Please donate to this place.
You're so
Help
sweet.
them keep this stuff going. They're going strong, but they need everything, all the help that they can get. So please try and bust open that pocket.
And Miracle Match donations are doubled.
Is in full effect.
Well, awesome. I'm going to let Adam go, and then we're going to continue on here. I'll turn this around, and we're going to continue on for our weekly wrap-up, because I know if I don't update you guys on
I got to go get a shirt
cats.
now, too.
Oh, yeah, he's going to buy a shirt. I know if I don't update you guys on cats, it's not a weekly wrap-up without that. So it's going to be very informal today. I'm in the viewing room with the hospital behind me. Abby, one of our vet tech volunteers who's been here 5 years, just got done doing procedures. And so we can talk a little bit about what procedures were done today too. So let me sit you guys down right here as we do our weekly wrap up. Awesome. Well, that was fun with Adam today. And Judson came down and said, when do you want to do your weekly wrap up? And I said, as soon as there's a phone down here, and hey, let's show you the day in the life of. So we sent out a press release on our 25th anniversary yesterday, also announcing the cat cam. And so we wonderfully, a lot of places picked it up. CBS and a few others. Fox 21 from Duluth is coming down doing a story. We have another Fox channel coming down at the end of the month. And we're so grateful when media shares the work of the sanctuary, especially with our local communities. So we appreciate that so much. So weekly wrap up and cat updates. So what can I tell you? So we, all the mergers are doing great. We did just move around a few more cats. And so sponsors, be patient. I know Julie is asking for photos so that she can send them to you. But photos always come kind of once the cats are settled. So we moved. This is going to be, you have to keep track with me. So we moved Bobcats, Bonnie and Clyde, the two new ones from the rescue, to where Sky and Celine were. We moved Sky and Celine to where Essie was in Wildcat Pines. And the reason we did that is, you guys know, Sky and Celine aren't merged right now. These two sisters are having some squabbles, and they tend to injure each other when they have squabbles. So that yard has a larger holding yard and bedroom that can also act as a second yard and has vertical platforms the caretakers put in. And so they have more space why they're not living together, and we're still deciding day by day if we try to merge them, but they were not happy to see Athena and Enzo, and we're displacing it back to each other through the wall of the holding yard and the yard. And so I'm glad we did try that merger. But that also allowed Essie to move back to quarantine because she was not liking all the bobcats around her. We were hoping she would, and that would be her fix, and it wasn't. So she's back into a quarantine yard with no shared walls and seems to be appreciating that really well. Bonnie and Clyde, who moved, they're just in heaven. I mean, these bobcats that came from that 10 by 10 filthy, dirty, just barren cage that you guys had saw that they rescued from are just blossoming. They were up on the skywalks and everything, and just social and coming up, and really wonderful to see. Also, the caretakers and interns worked extremely hard and got all the temporaries done for the Bengal moves. That's going to allow us to build for Catio Town. So the first move was Rue, the Asian leopard cat last week, was the final cat to move in with all the Asian leopard cats in bungalows 11, 12, and 13. And so Puma, a single Bengal, he moved back over to their temporaries because his is the first bungalow and hybrid yard we're going to tear down. So he moved, he's doing fine, wonderful, lovely, like that. And so that was a lot of moves yesterday. And then this morning was a wellness exam day. And as you guys know, we do wellness exams every 3 years for preventative care. And then we usually stop those wellness exams at 15 or 16 years old, knowing those cats are going to be seen and sedated later in life, probably for treatment of something, whether it be renal disease, supportive care, arthritis, checking kidneys, things like that. So we had slated Lizzie, a 20-year-old African serval, and it just blows me away that she's 20. It just surprises me because I still feel like she's like 15 years old. Lisa's poking her head in. And so Dr. Campbell asked me if we wanted to still do her exam because she was past the last exam. But she's been eating slower than normal, and so we sedated and checked her. Her blood work looks great for an older cat. But she did have an old fractured tooth and another cracked tooth. So she had a couple teeth removed, and sponsors will get that update with some photos. And then Merlin, one of our Bengal, was due for wellness exam and vaccines, and he was able to be held, no sedation needed, and did great. And his blood work looks really good and everything too. And so that was a good wellness day. We are sending some sponsor updates on a few other cats. I'm trying to remember if it was a move or merger, so I apologize for that. But we did have Bella the bobcat. She's older, and we can really see that she's always at the fence and saying hello to us. She's 18. And so over the weekend, the caretaker said she didn't come up for AM rounds, so they checked again in a half hour, and then checked again in a half an hour, and said it was just not like her not to come out of her den. So Dr. Campbell and I drove up on my day off, and wonderful Alyssa and Jackie were helping, as well as Kelly and Tyler. It takes a team of people that found her and were checking on her. And so we didn't know exactly what was going on. We didn't know if she was having a stroke, she was having issues, she was really wobbly on her back end and neurologic. It looks like she had vestibular disease, which is Shanti had that late in life too, and it just comes on quickly. It can be something that stays, worsens, or resolves itself on its own. And so we've been watching it over the last few days, wanted to make sure we knew where she was going, health-wise, and she's improving over and over, and she's eating well again. Still a little wobbly on the back end, but definitely improving. So when we've got these oldie but goodies, it's a lot. So also, I think on my last weekly wrap-up, we were talking about that we were watching for urine in Leo and Mansa's yard and room, and we thought maybe it was Mansa or Leo, and I know the sponsors are getting an update on that too if you haven't already, because we were watching very carefully, and it appears, and it was confirmed, that it was actually Leo, the lion, that is kind of showing incontinence. Not like Chipino was, it's a very different thing, but again, Mansa and Leo are 18. It's amazing how many old cats we have right now. And so we're looking at making sure he doesn't have a bed box, he's got a hammock, so that he's not getting urine burns or anything like that. We're looking if medication will help too. We also started just treating for UTI, kind of doing a broad sweep of treatment. Again, we can sedate him at 18, but we also know what's going on health-wise. And so our vet is making a very calculated decision of what information we could get and how it would change treatment. and if it's worth that. And then also we've talked about, if we do sedate him, do we move him and Mansa, since they're 18 years old, or to a different habitat, or do we keep them where they're at? All of that goes into play. So it's not just sedate, get the information, and then decide we want to move him because he's aging and resedate again. It is a team process, and we all talk and we weigh the pros and cons. Really what we talk about from a medical perspective is information is wonderful, and we want as much information as possible. But if information isn't going to change the course of treatment for an animal, and that the risk of sedating them, not just because they're older, but because they're big or they've had issues in the past, or the stress to them, it's all a case-by-case basis. So it's never a blanket decision. And so right now, Leo's bright, alert, and responsive. He's just leaking some urine. He's not having any urine burns. We're going to treat it as UTI, and then we might investigate further. So we'll keep you updated if there's anything to know. Anything else? Aiden, the little Asian leopard cat, has always had watery eyes. He's the one that's missing part of his tail, and also has the cataract. And he also is got a early cataract in the other eye. So he's had some watery eyes with some conjunctivitis. So they've been watching him, but he's very elusive. And so we know that it's a degenerative issue that he's going to have, but he's getting around and loving his friends and doing really great right now. So that's good. The fence company's been here all week, moving that perimeter fence and starting the poles for the new bobcat area as well. So that's been really busy. On top of that, we had a new media intern start today, and we have a new animal care intern starting today. So they're going through training, and we onboarded on Tuesday 2 new volunteer vet techs, and next Thursday we have another volunteer vet tech onboarding. So we got a huge response for our call out, so much so that we can't accommodate everybody with our schedule, but it's so wonderful that we can give that experience to 1 to 2 days a month to people who give so much to animals in the field, and get them more wildlife experience as well. Miracle Match is going well. We are going to start using Miracle Match to fundraise for specific items next week. So definitely stay tuned to help us reach those project goals. Really, really important to us. We will share with you where your money's going and why your donation means so much. And remember, now through April 30th, your donation is doubled. And that means a huge, huge amount to us. We are continuing to work on the Argentina tiger rescue, and we will have updates for you in the near future. I just never want to give updates before we have things signed, sealed, and delivered. So that is important. I'm working on placing savannas right now. It is so wonderful that other sanctuaries are stepping up for some of these hybrids and things like that, because we are just at capacity. We are really, really full right now, and we never want an animal to just be housed temporarily for a long time. And so our goal is to get all of the cats that we have into the spaces that is our standard before we accept other cats. Now, we do understand we have some geriatric populations, and so if certain cats become available through rescue, or there is an emergency to save a life, we are going to step up, and we're going to also step in with our network of sanctuaries to help. So we'll never turn an animal in need away. It's just we might facilitate it in a different way, and then we make it that decision by decision as well. So those have been kind of the big things that have been happening here. We've also made a lot of enrichment, and we have volunteers coming to make more enrichment. We've gotten a lot of the big, thick paper cardboard tubes donated, and so we're making those into mobiles with chain and hanging them in cougar enclosures. And then we also, I got a lot of kind of pheasant and thimbles and things, are making a bunch of these small toys for the Asian leopard cats and hybrids, and they've been loving them like crazy. We had a former intern come and do a huge big log, and that log was drilled so that we can put treats and scents and catnips, and we've got about 10 of those to go in, and then they have the bark that can be scratched off. And then we have those scent tubes that I told you about before that we're actually just taking bedding that is soaked in urine from other species, shoving it in the scent tubes and giving them to other cats that like to mark over them. So enrichment is a huge thing. We've bought more produce. We've made some bloodsickles. We actually found a new way to make bloodsickles that are not just in a bucket and flat like you've seen, but are completely round. So then when the cats bat them, even though the bloodsickles are round, they'll move. So much good stuff. And we know that Dahlia was really the enrichment tester because I was making it in the office. I put it in a box for the Asian leopard cats and hybrids, stored it to be able to bring out the next day. And when I came in, my office was a disaster because her and Oreo and Emery, I think Benny was a good boy. I don't think he got into it, but had played with everything that we had made. So at least they were good at testing that everything was going well. Other than that, Tuesday, Thor Senior has a wellness exam, and we might have another small cat that is a wellness exam. And then most of the hybrids are going to start moving next week, and then it's a group a week. And so we'll use that opportunity for cats that are due to do their wellness exams as well. We're also hoping to try some play dates with Jewel moving to Ledger's group, since they were so used to having Phoenix and Bronx, some shy Bengals, as well as Harley maybe moving in with Riku's group or Felix's group. So we are just kind of deciding how to do those play dates. When do we wait till they go to neutral territory and their temporaries they built, things like that. So it's busy here. And then Alana and Rora are being crate trained so that they can move over to next door to I almost said Kimba, Gino and Sophie. But we know the girls are a lot, so they are spending, the caretaking staff and facilities are putting up a plywood blind, all along the shared wall until they get to the hallway where it'll be separated, to try and encourage it to be a more positive introduction in close quarters, because we think Gino might be a lot, and we know the girls are going to be a lot. We've tried them next to Thor before, and it was too much. So all of that's going on. It's hard to think of what else, because everybody's busy doing different things throughout the sanctuary. And I was so happy when I got to see Judson and Olivia and Temo's sandworm with the caracals, because I don't always know everything that's going on. And what is so lovely about that is that we have staff that have their own marching orders. They're working towards the same goal as the rest of us in the organization. They can come up with these creative, wonderful ideas. And it was just so fun to see the caracals pop their head through that. If you haven't, definitely go back on our social media and look at that little video. And then as we go through, somebody's asking how Alyssa is. Alyssa's doing great. She's gonna be moving this summer too, but probably not till, I think it's June or July, we'll be doing some big cat moves. And a lot of that is as we walk around the sanctuary and we see certain cats getting older, like Dimitri and Griffin, they could use some less space since we see them not using their yard as much. And some of the younger cats like Thor and Nova and Indy and Dash could use bigger spaces. So we're kind of laying that all out now. And because we'll have so much construction and volunteers on site, that also has to be coordinated, because we don't want to be moving big cats when we have a lot of people on site, gates open for construction and things like that. So it is just definitely a mapping of coordination. But everything's going as good as can be expected here at the sanctuary. The weather's been great, and I look forward to updating you next week. And again, if you're a sponsor parent, you will get sponsor updates and emails. And then also thank you to everybody. We sent out an email that if we are in your legacy plans, the sanctuary is, please let us know, because we are going to do our first ever legacy event this year, and definitely want to have that form, the intent form, included when we pull that database to invite legacy members and legacy pride members on site. So that means the world to us. We know that is a really special personal gift. We hope it is a gift we don't see for years to come, because we want you guys all here on this planet with us, but know how appreciated it is, because it will make us sustainable for decades to come for the cats, and that is our goal. And I have TWS in my legacy plans as well. I've had that since I was 29 years old. I always wanted to make sure that the animals were cared for far past my time here on this planet. So thank you for making today and every year of the 25 years of our anniversary so special.